Hi, this is Lindsay Mason with Assignment 5, which are my revisions to Assignment 4, my teaching unit, as well as answers to the reflection questions. Do the tasks yield appropriate evidence of the identified understanding? I would say yes, my tasks and activities, each of them made a different way for me to see the understanding my kids had. So for example, in whole group, they did turn and talk where they talked to their neighbors and I was able to listen to what they were understanding. In small group, they were able to use manipulatives to show me their understanding. And then at the end of the lesson, they used the iPads to show me from start to finish what they understood, and I was able to actually see what they were doing as well as watch them. Do the tasks involve a complex real-world application of the identified knowledge, skill, and understandings? I think I could have included more real-world examples in my lesson. My students love to hear stories, so adding that aspect in to an addition lesson could have been really fun for my students. I did this a lot with simple addition to help my struggling students see a group and a group come together. I think I need to continue to do this, especially for my struggling students as we get deeper into addition. I could have done something like this. We saw 10 chickens in the chicken coop. We walked a little further and saw 3 pigs playing in the mud. How many animals did we see today? Using these examples might help get them to understand we can have one group and another group and we can join them together in all, no matter where we are, whether it's math, a farm, or wherever we are. Are a variety of appropriate assessment formats used to provide additional evidence of learning? I used 2 different methods to assess my students. The first way was giving each student a different number in small group and having them show me how they would complete the addition problem. So they were given a wipe away pocket that had 10 frames in it, and I gave each kid a different number and they had to show me what they would do in the addition problem and explain what they were doing to me as well. And the second way was having the students record themselves explaining how to do the addition problem on the iPad. They were told they need to explain it as if they were talking to a person who has never done addition before. So they had to not only show how they did it, but they also had to talk through what they were doing as well. Are the students given the opportunity to self-assess and reflect upon their learning and performance? I'm going to say yes and no at this one. Yes, although it's not explicitly said in the lesson, my students had to self-reflect many times when creating their videos. A lot of times they would just start recording, they would jump right in, and it didn't work. They had to stop and re-record and stop and re-record. But the great thing was each time they stopped, they were able to think about what they were doing, what they needed to do. One of the groups that made the best videos was they right off the bat put the iPad down. They got their number, they walked through step by step what they were going to do, they talked about how they were going to share jobs, and then their video was created very quickly and very well. Some of the revisions I would make. The first one would be more iPads in smaller groups. We're not one-to-one with iPads, so there was about 3 kids in each group, which made it a little chaotic, and I felt like if each student had their own individual iPad to record themselves, I could have easily seen each specific student and what they were understanding. It also would have been kind of fun to share that with parents. I would also want to use more real-world examples. Like I said before, it really helps solidify addition or simple addition for some of my struggling students, and I need to continue to do that. Another thing I would do was have the students make up a story about their number to give it real-world context, and this being the iPad project, I think instead of just explaining what they would do from start to finish, they should also have to tell a story about their number. I think it would have really brought it all together. I also would want to include more opportunities for self-reflecting, whether that be stop and think, or just posing questions to the students about their understanding. I think would have helped me see a little more how the kids were feeling about addition. And I also would want to do different assessments, or maybe like more mini assessments throughout. Since it's with kindergarten, I struggle to find assessments that aren't tests or pop quizzes or things like that. So just looking and sorting through different assessments would be great for me to see how each student individually is learning addition. Here are my references.